Gary Campbell here from the CRA Executive Committee. I'm here with the 92-93 boys basketball team. Hall of Famers, all of them in their own right. Arguably the best basketball team that ever played at Wacona Regional High School. 22-3 record. Berkshire County champions, Western Mass champions, state finalists. Congratulations, guys.
Appreciate it.
We were a scrappy bunch of guys. We had a blend of athleticism, and then you had a blend of football bodies who were used to the contact. We played that 2-3 zone. Anybody that came into the 2-3 zone was getting chipped as they came across the lane. I mean, that was Coach Ladley's signature, was to teach toughness. So you came across, you were getting hit. And so it took a lot of players out of their game.
To me, Coach Ladley was the main ingredient in that state finalist team. I mean, obviously everybody knows that, but with our team being so short and everything, we had to know what we were doing, and and that's all goes to him.
Right, and a lot of us played two sports. We played together growing up, since second grade, and it was just gritty athleticism, and we were unselfish. We didn't care who scored the points really. We just pressured the whole game. Whoever shot the threes or scored the points, it didn't really matter. And I think that, went a long way as to how we got that far.
We were playing Monument away. We were in our silly little huddle at the, how before the game we do 1, 2, 3 Warriors or whatever.
Okay.
And yeah. And Brian's pounding his fist on the ground going 11-0, 11-0. And that's the first game we lost.
Way to go, Brian.
When you get to a certain championship game, like Western Mass Finals, state finals, 17, 18, you get a little tight, you get nervous. These guys, 24 foot, Brian shooting them, right? Coaches, what's he doing? It's going in. Let him shoot. You know what I mean? I think a big part of Coach Ladley was recognizing the talent he has, and not just the talent, but the personality of the team. And these guys' personality let him give them a lot more free reign and have confidence that they're going to get the job done with not being as restrictive. So, we had plays set up, but a lot of times we didn't use plays. Move the ball and shoot.
Yeah, we moved the ball.
Move the ball and shoot.
Western Mass final against Greenfield. I was literally 6 feet behind the three-point line. I pulled up my dribble and everyone was kind of covered. And I looked at the bench and Ed goes, and I shot it, and as it was going out of my hands, it was coming out wrong, and I just pressed like that, and I'm like, and it swished. I'm like, oh my God. So, and like I said before, Ed, he let me be me. He didn't try to say, Brian, tone it down or whatever. Like, he would have my back no matter what. He would be right in the other coaches' faces saying, don't talk to my player. You know what I mean? And when you get that, then you got a little more freedom to do a couple more things when you got your coach behind you, you know what I mean?
Look at the Monument game that we did lost. The next time we played them, 40 points we beat them by.
Wow.
We got a little chip on our shoulder that game, I think.
My kid's playing hoop and stuff now, and I pick up the ball and I'll shoot with him and stuff, and I can actually hit a shot now because I couldn't hit one back then. And I tell parents that had never. I said I was the center of the team. I wasn't taking the jump, but Chris was taking that. But I said no, I got the biggest guy usually down low, and if we were playing man, that was it.
You guys challenged each other in practice. You challenged each other in the driveways. You challenged each other every day. I think, it comes back to that. Ed challenged us, and he made us tougher.
He would come home after practice, officiating, come home, eat his dinner about 10 or 10:30 at night, fall asleep in it, and then wake up and work probably until about 2 in the morning. Watching games that might still be on, taking notes. I mean, tons of notes.
Yeah.
And then practice the next day.
Playing for Coach Ladley, you felt like you were playing for a basketball coach, and not to knock other coaches. I had really great coaches, but you felt like you were playing for this guy. Right. Like he's like the epitome of a basketball coach. Right. It was like this is
you
who
wanted
you
to
play
run
for.
through a wall for him.
Exactly. And like what John was saying too is like you had like with the atmosphere of the crowd, it was just like I don't know, it just like that combo, having Coach Ladley and having this like support of the crowd, just like that's what you want. Like that's what you want.
It was our quickness.
Yeah.
It was because we full court pressed the whole game long.
Yeah.
We were conditioned, we were in shape, and we could do that. And we just got so many turnovers, so many easy fast break points, and it was just kind of a fast-paced game where we kind of outran them, I think.
When he would lose to St. Joe's, he really wouldn't come home and yell or anything like that. He's a gentle giant. But on the court, he was fierce. And I think mental toughness probably entered into all of your play
Yeah.
because he really made you mentally tough. You knew your role and you had to be there. Otherwise, you'd come out, someone else would go in, right?
Yeah.
There's some coaches out there there's more talent possibly than us, but I think sometimes those players don't rise to their talent, or sometimes the coaches don't get as much talent out of their players. I think there's not probably a player that went through Wacona for Coach Lally that was one of his players that they said, wow, he didn't get enough out of that guy, or he should have been better. I think anybody that went through his program played to their top, played to their peak.
The Wacona PHS game at home, when you lost by 2 or 3, I forget what it was.
That was a junior
But,
year. When
was
Sean
it-
still played, yeah.
So, Dad, Coach told you to zero in on Sean because he was going to shoot it.
Yeah.
And
Mickle shot
so
it.
you
Mickle
all,
did it.
whomever was guarding him, went out to him, and he saw Matt Mickle in the corner
Yeah.
and threw the ball to him, and
Yeah.
Matt made the basket.
Which is cool.
So when he came home and Sean came home, I mean, I just stayed clear.
Who do you do that?
Would you like some ice cream? Ice cream. So, but you know, they really had a great discussion about the game. It was really a good father-son relation, coach-player relationship. And they just discussed the whole game, you know, and Ed, of course, was down in his boots, you know. But it was a good conversation, you know. So what came away with that? He probably came in and ran you into the ground the next day, I don't know. Or did he take you for breakfast? You know? Yes, all the pancakes you can eat.
That's it, and it was a family atmosphere. No matter what, it was a family. You get confidence from your family. You do some good things, you don't do some good things, but you get that confidence. And Ed was magic at that. It was awesome.
Ed was just real. He didn't like sugarcoat anything, or you know what I mean. He didn't play games, or it was just. And he was like that with everybody. I'll tell you a little story. I remember it was the year after I graduated. I was playing in a men's league at the Pittsfield Boys Club, and it was like 9 o'clock. No more. I think I was hungover, but I bounced the ball, and the ball was. I just bounced the ball off my knee, and it rolled out of bounds. I was like, oh, and the ball rolled back to me. I kicked it, and it went across the gym onto another court. And Mr. Ladley was reffing another game, and he goes, kick him out! And then he keeps calling the game. I'm like, so he kicked me out of the game for another court. But he didn't care that it was me. He said, kick him out! And there was a $5 fee after every time he got kicked out. And I'm like, here, coach, just take a 20. But he didn't show, and I thought that was cool. I'm like, that's pretty cool that he didn't just let that go, you know what I mean? Because that just showed how real he was.
I remember going to our first Western Mass game. I think, yeah, it was the first one at home against Drury. And I look over, and the fans are screaming, "It's all over," before the game starts, right? And we're just like, it is all over. Like, we won this game, and we didn't even start it yet. But the fans that year were awesome.
When the cars went down Route 9 towards the Civic Center, it was all of Wacona coming. It was all of Central Berkshire. That gave you confidence too, didn't it?
Did?
When we won the Western Mass Championship and they give you the trophy and we turned it around to show your fans, and I was amazed because you had the first 4 levels and even the upper levels of Mass Mutual of people from Dalton that were standing there just cheering you on. I just remember, like, I had chills. Still get chills thinking about that. It's like this town rallies behind their teams and they go to travel and they don't care whether it's football, it's basketball, it's soccer. They support their town.
Thank you for all the memories, and every team from now on gets measured. And guess what? 22-3, county champs. It's kind of hard. You set the bar high, but you know what? Everybody has benefited. This is still that town. It's still that place, and for a reason. And you're a big part of it.
And thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Good stuff.
It was something that you have to love. Working with the kids, okay, was so much fun. Teaching and coaching, you couldn't pick a better life, right? You're doing it now and you understand it, you know what I mean? But way back when, I have to thank Jim O'Connor, right? Why Jim O'Connor? When I graduated from North Adams State in '68, okay, he was an umpire in Pittsfield on the umpires, and he had me, talk to me, and I signed up and I became an umpire for the Pittsfield school systems, right? And during the summer, okay, Jim O'Connor did most of the Dalton Collegiate games. So he, okay, would take me along, and every weekend we'd be up at Dalton doing the games for the Dalton Collegians. So when I graduated from North Adams State, I applied. I wanted to stay in the area. I applied at Pittsfield High, my alma mater, Hoosick Valley. Okay, I had a job in New York State, but never thought of Wacona, because Wacona just had opened up, and I was 63. They opened up in '61, so it really wasn't like you're playing Dalton. And he one day he said to me, "Where are you going to get your job?" I said, "I've got my name out in 3 different places." He said, No. We need a math teacher at Wacona. Go put your name in up there at Wacona. I said, really? He says, yeah. So I went up there to see, to have my interview. Mr. Franklin was the principal. And so I had everything organized that when I see Mr. Franklin, if he asks me any question in math, I will be able to answer it. And so we're in there talking, and he says, I've got one big question for you. And I said, yes, Mr. Franklin, what is that? He says, how's your golf game? I says, how's my golf game? I said, are you kidding? I said, I'm terrible, terrible. He says, you're terrible, just like this. You're terrible. You'll fit in perfectly at Wacona. We need someone like you. And that was it. He says, he had the application, he signed it, and I was at Wacona forever. And that was the best move. You know, when you're from Pittsfield High, you want to go to your alma mater. Yep. Well, this was the best move that I ever made, and it was, you know, for 35 years, it was fun every single year, coaching, teaching, just being part of the Wacona. Now, you know, you genuflect when you say Wacona, all right?
Yeah,
so
right.
Part of a team was a big part of it. You know, football, all right, you've got 40 guys there that are close together. Every day you're out there churning it out. Basketball comes along. You do much more running in basketball, all right? But the same effort goes into helping your team win. You know, take away win, it wouldn't be any fun. You know what I mean? And after you lose, you know, you feel badly. And then baseball comes along, okay? And it was just a great sport. We had, you know, great athletes, Mark Belanger, Ray Wachowski, all these wonderful players, and it was nice being part of it. And you know, that your whole focus. If teaching didn't have sports, I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. You know, going from the classroom to the gym or to the field was fun. You know what I mean?
You made algebra, I had you for algebra, fun. You made it competitive.
Yeah.
You made it go up to the board. You challenged each and every one of us. And I feel like you did that in all of the sports. And basketball, I just remember you getting down the stance and us doing shuffle reactions, and we couldn't whoop you. You'd be back and forth going, I'm like, we can't beat this guy at all. How did you become so competitive?
Only in 9th and 10th grade, remember that. I would not play any juniors or seniors, just 9th and 10th graders. That was, you know, part of it. But yeah, it was fun, and you know, you just looked forward to it every day. And if somebody did beat you, you'd have to come up with a reason that you're going to get him or whatever. You know what I mean? So, but that was yeah, a big part of teaching and coaching, and you make a world of friends. You know, I mean, you go to Springfield and you play these teams. After a couple of years, you get to know the players and the coaches. So, you know, it was just a great experience. So, you're doing it now, and you see the benefits of coaching along with teaching. And Yeah, it's just wonderful. So what a great job. And thank you, Mr. O'Connor, for telling me to go up to Wacona. All right? So that was great.
Thank you, Coach Reed,
Thank
for
you.
being a part of Wacona.
I appreciate it. Gary, you're great stuff. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Coach.
Okay.
I got out of the service in '61, and I wasn't married, and nothing to keep me here. And Bill Duffy, who's assistant coach on the goal team, asked, "Why don't you come down and help us?" So I went down and helped Nick Baraski, who was coach for years, very good. And I didn't have any hobbies. I didn't hunt, didn't fish, wasn't married, didn't have any obligations. Why not? So it worked in 10, 12 years, and got interested. I met many great kids, many good players, many pretty good players, but they're all great kids, and many great adults who I've been friends with all these years. And your father was playing when I was coaching. He played tackle because you're too big to play in the backfield. And your grandfather was a coach, and your grandmother was one of the biggest supporters. She was a fan.
Most outspoken, maybe.
I mean, but it was something like that. It was colorful, it was clean, and just a lot of fun. I wasn't a strong disciplinarian, but I demanded discipline, demanded promptness, and paying attention. There were times I had a few kids who didn't pay attention or discipline, and we took care of it. But for the most part, I was successful. I wasn't a screamer and a yeller. I was just kind of a go-between between Nick Baraski, who was more vocal than me, and we just gelled pretty good with the kids. And I see kids now back from '60s, and I had a kid one time come out of a line in Memorial Day parade to shake my hand on the parade, on the side of the road, that he played with the goal team. He was a veteran from Vietnam. And when I coached baseball, Rick Keene was on my team. He got killed in 9/11. Great kid, but they're memories, good memories, bad memories. A lot of these young people have passed away, like Chipper Fenton, Tom Brophy, and people like that. I don't like to mention names, I'm going to leave somebody out. But like I said, it was just a fun thing. But when I got married, my wife started having kids. I had to let up a little bit. I hope I was a part of it. I hope they learned something. But kids are different now. Well, you know yourself. You're different than your father, but the three of them sitting there today. I watched them how attentive they were listening, and the little girls come up and Sammy said, "Good job." So she was paying attention. So maybe she was learning something there. Yeah.
Well, I want to take this time and thank you on behalf of our community and what you have set up.
Okay.
You are a Hall of Famer, and you're a guy that I crack up a little bit, but this is all what you see now today are because people like you stepped up.
Okay.
And we appreciate it very,
Okay.
very much.
And you people should be commended for the job that you're doing too.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Dick Kelly, Hall of Famer, coach, grandpa, awesome. Great to sit down with you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The whole environment growing up, it was so competitive, everybody just pushed each other, and it's just fun. I mean, I remember even as a kid going to the AA field in Hinsdale, and we used to rotate with amongst our family. What you get to pick an activity on Sunday afternoon, and I just wanted to go there and take BP. Yeah. But no, I mean, certainly in baseball, obviously. The 2019 inductee Turquendo was a couple years ahead of me, so that was somebody obvious to model your pitching career after, and he had great success, truly. But it was just, at the end of the day, the camaraderie of the guys you were competing with, and it was a brotherhood, and it was family, and it was a lot of fun. 3 different sports, 3 state championships. I'm not sure too many people can say that.
I don't think there are only a handful. It's amazing.
And you lost one run and 1 goal in baseball and soccer. Otherwise, we would have had 3 straight.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It was good. Just bred a competitive spirit amongst, and those guys are, they're Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
and,
that's it.
So yeah, you certainly wanted to rise to the challenge. But I think at the end of the day, you talk about guys like that. We all brought a little something different to the team, and that's what made them great teams. And that's why those teams are up on the wall in the other room. And from a conditioning standpoint, it helped out a lot. I'm not sure if I had to do it all again, if I would have I wouldn't want to specialize. I think it takes a lot of it out of it. And, you know, you spend that much time on one sport, the burnout rates are higher today than they were back then, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I truly appreciate sitting down and talking with you. Congratulations. And in all three sports, Wacona, the Glory Eagles, they're the best years around, and he's a big deal because of that. And I'll tell you what, Major Kai, and it's, as Wacona goes forward, you're one of the best to ever walk the halls.
Well, I
Wacona Regional High School. That's pretty cool.
appreciate hearing that.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
No, it's been a special day. I was telling Barb earlier, I think this is the first day I've worn pants since the pandemic started, so it's obviously a big, huge occasion.
Scott Ludlow, Hall of Famer. Congrats.
Thank you, Sue.
Good man. Awesome. Cool stuff.